cultural diversity, and then I'm looking at the contemporary cultures, meaning the aspects of culture which are different, because I would like to look at the issue more critically rather than just looking what is Baluchi as a whole. Okay, and now it is, so you can see cultural diversity or homogeneity in Balochistan. And then I would like to look at some aspects of culture and ideological aspect of the culture. And now, the structure of this presentation, you can see what is Baluchi tradition and culture. And then I would like to present some of these pictures. Of course, these pictures are selected to show some aspects of culture, meaning because culture is not just one homogeneous thing. It is not just one thing to say all things, all may be Baluchi, but they are different. Okay? It can be bigger? Yes. Oh, and this here, yeah. Yeah. Bigger, yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, how we move. Okay, so it is what is new, because it is culture is not something to be given for all the time, and culture is not something not to be changed, and there is nothing static. Therefore, I would like to see that how this culture has been changing, and then what is new, what is old. And then it is responses to pressure of globalization. I look at how this process of globalization and modernity has pushed our culture to shape itself in different ways. It is meaning, in reality, I am putting the whole culture, Baluchi culture, in a broader context rather than just looking at culture in more essentialist way. Okay, and then problem of essentialism and homogeneity is another aspect that I would like to criticize it. And then it is, as alternative, I would like to just talk a little bit about change, invention, and diversity. And then it is for a case study, just I have chosen a case study ideology of religious ideology of Jundullah, for example, as just to highlight how cultures are changing. All these are Baluchi, but there are different kind of Baluchi there. Okay, and then look at this one. For example, this is a Sepah Sahaba Iran, Wahid Balochistan. It is meaning the unit of Sepah Sahaba Iranian. It is one aspect of culture. Is meaning culture is changing. There are different dimensions, different aspects of this culture is emerging. Is meaning among the Baloch. Therefore, it is very, very difficult to say, oh, Baloch are always this or that. It is, you can see, Mujahideen, Sepah Sahaba, Iran, Wahid Balochistan. This is, in reality, is this Sepah Sahaba. They are Baloch. They have different ideology, but they are also, they believe that they are Baloch, but they are moving in different direction. Okay, and then look at this one. For example, this is the say emblem, say this Sepah Sahaba again, and then look at different aspects of this, meaning different religious group. Nasr Balochistan, hunting traitors, for example, it is meaning a list of different people to be, you know, just punished because they believe they are not real Baloch in some way. Okay, and then it is again emblem of Jundullah, Quran, and gun. And then it is meaning, of course, it is not only in Balochistan, Iranian Balochistan. You can see in Pakistani Balochistan as well, meaning to, of course, you know, to less extent, but you can see, for example, attack of women by those who, you know, sprayed acid. So it is, this one is attack more likely to be Baloch, but not all Baloch. This meaning it is when they attack, and then the question is that are they Baloch or not? Of course, you know, I believe it is, meaning they are, because there are some different aspects of culture in Balochi as well. It is, meaning, is flag of those, meaning another group called Sarhad News. It is, meaning, again, in part of the networks of John Dollar. This is, for example, interesting in Sarhad News, and they have, you know, put the pictures of, you know, Osama bin Laden, and then say, Hafazullah ya Shaykh al-Mujahideen, Khudawand Shaykh man Wali Amr man hifz farmay, meaning God should protect our leader and our Shaykh. It is meaning you can see these are some aspect of that culture which are developing there, and we have to see them. If we can't see them, I don't think we can, you know, just understand the situation there. And then, or we are able politically, you know, to develop our politics even. And then it is just, I would like to see this as also as Baloch, different aspects of Baloch culture. It is these women were, for example, in Nasirabad. Okay, these 5 women were buried alive. Of course, it is meaning there are, sometimes some people say, oh, there are many these kind of things in Iran or Pakistan. Certainly there are. Not just in Balochi, but it is something that these are happening in our area as well. So these are something that can be associated with Baloch people. We have to see them. Therefore, it is meaning, so look at that, for example, the guy, meaning Esrarullah Zahari, what he said. And he said only, meaning these are part of the culture, so they should not be criticized. But at the same time, you have seen Sanaullah Baloch and saying these are not Balochi. I think both are wrong. They are Balochi and they are there. You know, it is not the question that is to say always say they are not. They are, but it is how far they are, you know, meaning extensive, to what extent they are, you know, covering different parts of Balochistan. That is a different issue, but they are. We can't, you know, deny them. And then look at, for example, Honor and the Balochi, meaning these are the same thing as the attacks, meaning by a group called Honorable Baloch Group, or the Baloch Bayratman. It is one aspect of the culture which is growing there, which is developing very fast quite. And now it is, if we ask ourselves, is it Balochi? Yes, I say it is Balochi. It is new? Yes, it is new. And then, why then it is a different question which we should and we needs to be answered really. But it is no problem with this kind of essentialism. Okay, this is essentialism because we try to say if we are Baloch, we are Baloch. Then there is something which has been given for centuries. And they say identity and strict boundaries between outsider and insider are new or old. It is meaning there have been always some kind of differentiation, certainly, but differentiation previously they were between, for example, one tribe and another tribe, you know, between one village and another village. Now we have different differentiation at national level, meaning these are differentiation between one nation on another. This is a different thing. And then I would like, you know, to see that to what extent, when we try to just stick to this kind of essentialism, we try, you know, to a large extent, meaning put these outside history. If we put them outside history, make them timeless, then what will happen? It is, in reality, we try, you know, to interpret everything as a kind of political instrument. culture is to a large extent, we are moving in a direction to, you know, just formulate our culture as an instrument of the politics, which should not be, I think, in this way. I don't think that it is culture and politics are completely different. Of course not. There is not a boundary as such, but culture is not the same to be used as an instrument for, say, politics. And then it is meaning, therefore we are in reality in this situation, meaning in the world we live, there are two different movements in reality. It is one movement it is ethnic nationalism, and then ethnic nationalism. I'm not talking about civic nationalism. I try, you know, to just distinguish between these two and try to look at them in different ways. And then ethnic nationalism, and then another one is religious fundamentalism. In some way, they are quite similar. In a way, they look at absolute truth. This is a big issue. And now, on the basis of, for example, in, say, ethnic nationalism, it is on the basis of, say, primordial meaning something that is not historical, it is immemorial. It is something that was there and has been there, and then we don't know when. And then it is meaning this primordial ideas, it is locating nation in, as I said, in outside history. And then for them, these values are thick, meaning they are so thick that you can't, for example, see anything. And then it is embedded, meaning they are very strongly, you know, say, planted inside that society, that you can't, for example, see changes. You can't see, for example, some different aspect of those diversity. And it is meaning, then it is when you put this outside history and give it a quasi-sacred character as well. It is meaning they become sacred. They become something that you should worship them. It is meaning, for that reason, I believe we have to look at them. If we want to be critical, I think these are big issues that we have to look at them, not just from inside, a little bit from outside. And then, therefore, it is a fundamentalist response to the process of decentering, and then it is meaning some concepts which are associated with particular, meaning the contemporary situation, when, for example, there are a lot of interactions are going, a lot of people moving from one place to another, and different cultures are interacting with each other. These are something which are affecting the image of nationality as well, the image of ethnic as well. Therefore, it is, I would like to say, it is, we are, if we want to, you know, meaning consider these as sacred, and then denying change and relativization. Relativization means, meaning when different aspects of this culture are part of a broader culture, therefore their value are relative. Meaning they are not absolute, they are very relative. It is not that it is one culture is sacred, another is not. No, both are meaning different aspects of culture. They have negotiation, they have dialogue, and they are influencing each other. Okay, and then it is, I move to more, say, other aspects of this fear of diversity. It is then this fear of diversity creating a purity and the holiness. That is the problem that we are, I think, to a large extent, we see in a way we are looking at the issue of nation, nationhood, ethnicity, and these issues. Fear of cultural change and hybridization, meaning hybridization is, I believe it is the main, possibly, reality of all different people in different countries to a large extent. What does it mean? It means different cultures, you know, interact with each other, and then the product is different. It is not different for Baloch. It is meaning some people, for example, there were some discussions about the names of Balochi. Okay, this name of Balochi, you can see, I was looking at, for example, say, Mahtak Balochi. Look at the name of people sending article. It is interesting that you can see all names are not anymore Balochi, but all of them are very interested in Balochi issue. What is this? It is meaning a lot of changes, not just in name. My brother went to Iran, and I asked him that what kind of food they are eating. Now they are eating some food that I didn't know that them at all. What does it mean? It means in reality they are changing. They are not the same. People are not the same. When I was in Iran, for example, it is hard, there were not so many people in my area to go other part of Iran. Now they are going for their holiday to another part of Iran or another country. Yet for months, it is they are, what does it mean? It is interaction. It is changing their culture. It is changing their attitudes. Of course, it is changing the language as well. And this is not the case just about the meaning their attitude in way of eating. It is the language, their meaning culture, their the way they see the issues. And then I will give you another good example, meaning toward the end of this discussion. But okay, therefore I believe it is meaning we live in a very globalizing society. And changes and differences are happening all the time. And then it is, we are not, just inheriting some kind of values that always been there. Therefore, it is values that we are now, meaning possess values that were not there always. Some of them are from there, but they have been always changing. It is, I believe it is cosmopolitanism is another alternative to possibly not only ethnic nationalism, but also civic nationalism. But civic nationalism is not about ethnic or culture. Ethnic and culture, ethnic or cultural nationalism, it is about purity of that ethnic or culture. It is previously they used ethnic, now it is more issue of culture. For that reason, I believe we have to look at the culture from a wider point of view, not just, a homogeneous culture to, create an political agenda as such. Okay, now, a case study of ideology Jundullah. Jundullah is a product of new conditions, product of these interaction of different ideas, and a scholar called it ideoscapes. Ideoscapes meaning when distribution of ideas is so wide, they are moving in every direction and going everywhere and affecting everybody. And this is the way, for example, we are seeing different groups. But it is in the context of insecurity, in the context of the troubles, the whole world is involved, then they are trying to offer something. What is the thing they offer? Meaning absolute truth. Absolute truth is good for someone who has disturbed and then trying to calm down. That is to find a way to a little bit to settle down. And this is a condition that we can see there. It is Jondullah, it is meaning as a case of contestation. I say it is because contesting the values that we took for granted. And then how we want to look at it. Sometimes we say, oh, they are not Baloch, or sometimes we want to say if they are Baloch, for example, then we try to include them without any kind of criticism. This is two ways of looking at the issue. It is meaning, for example, this Jondullah, there are many who try to criticize them, but they can't criticize them. Possibly it is one issue is meaning because they are Baloch. Another issue, of course, is fear as well. It is the big issue. It is big issue. Nobody can criticize them, possibly because it will be dangerous. It is not only about religious groups. It is also about ethnic nationalism in some ways. Okay? And then it is, of course, there is a tension between religious, meaning, say, fundamentalism and ethnic nationalism in some way, but not always. Sometimes there are some kind of, just compromise. Changing, now I would like to look at the changing self in uncertain condition about one of those members of Jondullah. But it is okay. Look at for example, meaning the main, say, aspects of Jondullah ideology. I said they are product of uncertainties, and but it is meaning because they are product of these uncertainties, they are themselves are extremely meaning uncertain about what they are saying. There are conflicting elements in their own ideology. And then at the same time they are product of the old cultural flow in the area. What are those cultural flow in those areas? Cultural flow are about Taliban. Cultural flow is about Deobandism. Cultural flow is about Ahl Hadith. Cultural flow is there about Wahhabism. These are moving as meaning different, meaning just dominant aspects of culture in that area, and then creating these. These are not just meaning local. They are not even regional. They are very global. Global issues that are influencing this, and then they are say shaping these groups in the whole area. Now we have not just Jondullah. Jondullah is a huge network now. If you look at that, there are so many, websites are more or less in one way or another related to the same group. It is a huge network now. It is network in same way that, for example, Al-Qaeda has. Al-Qaeda is meaning there is no one Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is a huge network. It's not an organization in reality. It is Jondullah in same way is becoming a network. And this become very big issue. Okay? Now it is look at for example, inconsistencies are a lot, but reflecting those uncertain issues in that area. For example, this is Jondullah in some way trying to say using Baloch, for example, using occupation, but Islamic occupation. They don't believe it is a national occupation. It is Islamic occupation. It is Islamic land is occupied. If they want to talk about emirate, they are talking about emirate, meaning forming a state in way that Taliban created in Afghanistan. It is emirate. It's not nation state as such. And then it is when Islamic occupation, talking about Islamic land which has been occupied, then they are talking even about the whole Iran. And because they believe if they are using Safavid, they say we were all Sunnis, Shia and Safavid came and occupied the Islamic land. Okay? Then it is another interesting point, it is there, meaning Then, one or twice, I think John Dullah is talking when the pressure of the whole movement in Iran, meaning just push them in a way to say, to mention name of Turk and also I think Turk and other Shia, for example, say ethnic nationalities. The other ways.
Can you make it brief?
Okay, yes, I will, sorry. And then, in other cases, they are talking about Baloch, Kurd, and Turkmen. And also Arabistan, which includes Sunnis from Bandar Abbas to Khuzestan. It is meaning they are trying to exclude Sunnis as those who have the rights to have Islamic land, emirate. It is meaning the way we have to look at the way they see the Baloch. Okay, it is now I would like to just very briefly to say how they are coming, from where they are coming, and I think I haven't time to discuss these issues and then to see what is really the meaning they say the roots of their ideology, from where they are coming, and then what are the main ideas. But okay, it is now, I believe it is, they are justifying violence on the basis of Islamic, say, some Islamic values, of course selected values, Mosque of Zarar, and so and so. Okay, and then it is, okay, this is interesting thing is about Abdul Hamid Rigi. Abdul Hamid Rigi was the brother of Abdul Malik Rigi, and it is as a Baloch, see how one Baloch, self of one Baloch is changing. It is the issue about all of us. It is not just that, but I would like to, just say this is a good example. As a Baloch in Zahedan involved in trading, even in narcotic trading. Okay, that is meaning a lot of people do that, and this is not a big problem. As a Baloch in Zahedan, interested with non-Baloch cultures and married a Tehrani girl, which is more likely to be Shia. Yeah? Okay, so it is interesting point. As a Baloch member of John Dullah, so it is then, later on, he becomes member of John Dullah and brothers of the leader, of course, and then it is claimed now that he killed his wife, he killed his wife, and there is more likely, it is, if it is true, we don't know, because it is, of course, John Dullah has not, denied this. This has been, just said, but they never have denied this. And therefore, it is meaning it is more likely to be true. Then they killed him. Why? It is because it is the whole ideology of John Dullah is ideology of, it is coming from, say, Sepah Sahaba, Lashkar Jangui, and then it is meaning radical Deobandis in Pakistan, and they believe that it is meaning, of course they say that killing Shia is justified because they have occupied land, they are kafir. Okay, so it is meaning the way, and then it is meaning the same Baloch, member of John Dullah, of course, it is his brother was killed. His brother was killed, meaning brother of his wife, meaning brother-in-law was killed because they believe that he was, poisoning the leader. Okay, so it is, these are some facts. Okay, conclusion is globalization have created much pressure, I say. Cultural change and diversity is a fact now, and response to globalization, I said, is moved in direction of absolutism in some way, and then in Baloch religious fundamentalism.
Hoshang, I'm sorry, but...
Okay, bye. You're welcome.